Good evening. Yes, I'm Rain Burrows, and I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. I can tell you that I had one of the best holiday Thanksgiving dinners ever at Pat and Jean Boone's house next to the mayor's house. And it's due to the mayor's actions that I had that wonderful day. So I'm sorry that Marty's paper is not being introduced tonight about furthering our right to have exercise free speech. Every time people watch peaceful protesters getting pepper sprayed, or hears that an Occupy protester suffered brain damage and almost died after being shot in the skull with a rubber bullet, or hears about the aggressive and destructive Richmond raid on Kanawha Plaza, many become increasingly fearful of participating in this citizen movement, and also become fearful in general of exercising their rights in a way that is bothersome or threatening to those of you in power. That's a natural response, and it's exactly what the climate of fear imposed by an all-abusive police state action is intended to achieve, to coerce citizens to decide on their own, to be passive and compliant, to refrain from exercising their rights, out of fear of what will happen if they don't. The genius of this approach is how insidious its effects are. Because the rights continue to be offered on paper, the citizenry continues to believe it is free. They believe that they are free to do everything they chose to do because they have been persuaded through fear and intimidation to passively accept the status quo. As Rosa Luxemburg so perfectly put it, someone who sits at home and never protests or effectively challenges power factions will not realize that their rights of speech and assembly have been effectively eroded because they never seek to exercise those rights. It's only when we see steadfast, courageous resistance that this erosion of rights is fully exposed. Pervasive police abuses and intimidation tactics applied to peaceful protesters, such as the raid on Kanawha, not only harm their victims, but also the relationship of the citizenry to the governments and the set of core political rights. Implanting a fear of authorities in the heart of the citizenry is far more effective means of tyranny than overtly denying rights. That's exactly what incidents like this are intended to achieve. Overzealous prosecution of those who engage in peaceful political protest is the close cousin of excessive police force in both intent and effect. The city government of Richmond is deterring meaningful challenges to those in power through the exercise of basic rights. Rights are so much more effectively destroyed by bullying a citizenry out of wanting to exercise them than by any other means. That's the obvious plan of the Richmond mayor and allied city council members. But now that people are rising up to oppose tyranny, you claim to fear mob rule, but you have forgotten that tyranny against the people also invites eventual tyranny from the people. Some of you powerful people claim to fear mob rule, but you are setting the conditions for it. It's time for Richmond City to step back from the intimidation strategy and make room for all-day, everyday freedom of speech that will move toward real solutions to the monumental problems we face. Some say Richmond City government is an illegitimate failure in many ways. We're paying closer attention to you now.
Thank you.